By the time we knew, the world was at war already.
Hitman 2-3, this is Hitman 2. What's the status? Over. 2-3, stand by. Goliath, this is 2 Bravo. Request permission to engage enemy paratroopers and attempt to snatch a grid pop at uniform 259er 119er. Break. Enemy is unaware of our presence at this time. Over. Solid copy. Hitman 2-3, Echo 5 Foxtrot. This is Hitman 2 actual play. 385 mics.
Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. This is Lobo. The channel is called ZooPF Visual Effects. For those of you who are new to the channel, of course, if you actually enjoy that 20-second video intro, you guys know what to do. Please like and subscribe. It always helps me make more videos like this. For those of you who are actually visual effects artists, hopefully this video helps you learn a few tricks and trades to go out there and create something even more cool. Alright, that being said, there's a folder you guys need to download. Please download that folder. You're going to find some assets that is going to help you follow along with the tutorial. Also, I left some links beneath the description tab because I want you guys to be connected with some amazing artists, plus a page on Google that you can find other things. Alright, today what we're going to do is recreate the 4 scenes that you guys saw at the intro video. But I got to make this very clear. I'm going to show you guys my workflow, so that you guys have an idea how I created what I did. Because if I sat there and show you guys every little single things I did, we'd be here for 1,000 hours and we just don't have time. Okay, so what we're gonna do is recreate the best as we can these 4 scenes right here. And once again, it's just me showing you guys my workflow. Okay, here are the 3D models right here, right here, right here, this, that, and this, and that. Okay, let's get started right away. Make sure you have a folder here for this tutorial. I'm going to click on composition. I'm going to click right here, go to new composition. Let's just call that Mech versus Army. And I'm keeping everything at 4K, but if you guys can't do that, do 1080p and just downscale my footage. Okay, click OK. Once we are here, go to layer, go to layer, new, solid, same thing, call it Mech versus Army. I'm once again keeping everything at 4K. Once again, yours will either be 1080p or 4K. Click OK. Once we are here, go to Effect, Video, Copilot, Element. Once we're here, click Scene Setup. And what we want to do now is bring in our tank. Why the tank? Because there are so much going on with this tank. We need to know what's going on. Click Import, and it's already right here. But I'm going to back up so you guys can see your folder first. Okay, your folder should look something like this. Double click on that, you'll see 2 things. One is your edited footage, and the other one is the OBJ file. So we're going to click on the OBJ file, click on tank, and bring in this OBJ right here. Click OK, and it should look something like this. Alright, looks pretty good, looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and start texturing. So click on the first one, go to diffuse, and find your folder wherever it is. Alright, and mine is right here. I'm going to use you guys' folder, okay? And let's go and click on tank, and here are the textures. I want you guys to bring this one in, click OK, and then I want you guys to go to normal bump. We're going to bring some bump map into this and double click on this one, and there it is. All right, as you can see, it's super shiny. So first, let's click draft textures because we want to see this at its highest resolution, of course. It might take a few seconds. See, now it's at its highest resolution, and that looks pretty good because of the normal map. All right, I want to take the normal map actually to 50 because it's too much. Also, it's too shiny, so let's take the gloss down to 50. Let's take our environment multiplier to 70, and let's take our reflectivity to about 3. Reflectivity creates realism when the light shines through it. Okay, anything light shines through it, there's reflectivity. All right, and that creates realism. Once we are here, let's click on wheel, and let's texture the wheels. All right, so the wheels are right here. Click on that, and let's bring in a bump, and the bump, and there are 3 bumps here. Okay, I created these bumps for you guys in Quixel. If you guys can, invest in Quixel. It's a great tool for texturing. Okay, click on here, and you're gonna see the difference very quick, and boom, there it is. Okay, once again, normal maps is an illusion. Okay, so that's what you need to understand too. So there's too much glossiness. Let's just take that down to 15. Let's take down the environment multiplier to about 20, and I want to bring my intensity of reflectivity to about 5. Maybe 5 is too much. How about 3? 3 looks good. Once we're here, that looks pretty good. These lights are very confusing. Just follow the description right here. Okay, so we have 2 glass, right? So glass 1 and glass 2. Let's unclick these right now really quick so we see what they do. Okay, so I'm gonna click on this first one right here. Okay, so this could either be glass or light. You get to choose, but I'm gonna follow the description here, and I'm gonna say these are, you know, lights. So you have 2 choices. You can either go to your presets, go to physical. This came free with Element 3D, and you double click on that and it gives you 3 lights. Okay, or you can undo that and just keep this in a darker color like this. All right, I kept mine just dark colors because I didn't need a light to shine through it. So I just wanted you guys to show both so you guys could see what both can do. Okay, once again, too much gloss. I'm gonna take that down to 7D and maybe take my environment multiplier to about 80. Okay, once I'm here, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Now, once again, this is these 2 right here. It's the glass. Okay, so again, you can just do everything just the way I did it, and I just kept everything dark because I just didn't have time for it. Or you can choose to make it a light, up to you guys. Okay, but for me, I'm just gonna keep everything dark because this tutorial is not on how to create lights, but how to create the scene. All right, so that's why we don't really need to worry about that right now. If you guys want to get crazy with it, do it. Okay, same thing here. Let's click on this, and you might not see it, right? So flip it around and look at these right here. Okay, see, same thing. These are also glass. Okay, so you can just do the same thing, guys, and just keep everything where it's at. But these aren't even shiny, so we don't need to worry about that, and we'll just keep them as are. But if they're too dark, just make them gray and just call it good. Okay, all right, what about this one? What does this one do? This one is the glass for that one over there. So for me, once again, I don't really care. I'm just gonna take that down just the way it is. Okay, once again, you guys want to get crazy with it, do it. All right, I'm just gonna leave that at 3 and just call it good. All right, once it's like this, let's just go ahead and click OK. Once you're here, to see what it looks like, let's make sure that first we create a new camera for it. Okay, here's the camera. Leave everything at 15 millimeters. Click OK. Once we are here, click this camera icon so you can move it around. Okay, but you're like, man, it looks so bland. You're right, it's very bland because you didn't put first any ambient occlusion. So let's go and do that right now. Let's crank that up to 5 fun. Once you're here, also go down to your shadow, click here, make your shadow 4K. Remember guys, the higher this goes, the more taxing it is on your computer, so make sure your computer can handle it. Shadows right here, let's go and just do 4096, just like that one right there. Now let's create a light so we can see the magic. So click create a light. Let's just keep that at 250, keep everything where it's at, click OK, and boom, there it is. Okay, if you want to see better what you're doing, go to 2 views here by clicking that. Click on this here so we have full control of this area, and once you're on top, you get to control your camera and your light. Here's your camera, here's your light. Okay, here's the light. Move the light around so you can see what you're doing better. All right, so once again, you want to see this because this is realism right here. Okay, you don't want to see too much shine on metal, you just want to see this right there. Okay guys, so that takes care of part 1, which is once again texturing and bringing 3D models. Okay, next we'll move it on to the scenes. Alright, let's go and create a new folder right here, and that's where our video is gonna go. So create the folder and name it video. From there, I want you guys to bring in your video from the folder. Okay, and it should be right here, edited footage for After Effects. In this footage, you guys are gonna find different type of footage you did not see in the 20-second video intro, because I need to keep it short and I didn't have that much time. But you're gonna find footage from my drone, which is really cool. Click on that, and let's bring our footage into a new composition, very important, and click 1. All right, and I believe it was at 15. Nope, not 15. There, 5 right here. Click shift so it moves in increments. Whoops, totally did it wrong. Right here, there you go. Click shift still, bring that back to you. And guys, I'm only gonna do 2.5 seconds because we don't need to get crazy right here. Okay, once again, bring shift, bring that back here, and go to composition, trim, come to work area, and there it is right here. Once we are here, what you want to do now is track your footage. Okay, so let's go ahead and just click track. And since the angle is not up and down, left and right, and zoom in and zoom out, we can keep this at fixed angle view. And let's click render track points here, just like that. And what's it going to do is it's going to find any 3D points in the scene for us, and from there we will be able to put any 3D and 2D object into our scene, which is tracked in 3D, which is really cool. So what it does is it's telling your footage that whatever you're gonna throw into the footage belongs to one of these objects, and so because it belongs to one of these objects, it's going to act the same way. Okay, so first you went through analyzing the footage, and then you went through solving any 3D camera problem. If you did it properly, everything should look just like this. And when you zoom over it, you should see this target circle here. Okay, if you did it properly, it looks like this. If not, you're not going to see the target circle, and you won't see any of your track points. All right, once we're here, now we're bringing our 3D tank here. Okay, so click on this, click copy, go back to your footage, and click paste. The reason why I do it this way is because I want to leave all of my 3D assets in one area, so I can just bring them up and down as I see fit. Okay, once we're here, what we're gonna do next is we have to make sure this tank is tracked to our footage. So the first thing you want to do first is pick a point in your footage that is going to work properly. Okay, so the point I wanted to pick for this footage was any points that was on the road here, and if they were in the center, that was even better. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one here. So you got to go back to your footage, you have to click on camera tracker and right click on your point and click create null and camera. There's a null here, and there's a new camera that was created for it. Okay, so that if you move your footage, if you scroll your footage through, that null is tracked to it. All right, and the camera is creating that, making sure the null is tracked to the footage. Okay, once we are here, let's go ahead and bring back our tank. Now what we want to do is connect the tank to the null. So bring the null down and open this up just like this. All right, once you are here, the position is what we want. Same thing here, so bring this down just like this. Okay, to make sure we don't get confused, let's just rename these right now. Tank. Now, is this a tank? No, it's not a tank, but I just kind of forgot what it was called, so I'm just calling it a tank. Right, so tank null for tracking. All right, once we're here, I want you guys to click on Alt and the position, and let's go ahead and pig whip this to our position of the null. Once it's done, just click away, and there you go. Your tank is tracked. How do we know for sure? Let's scroll through the footage. There you go. The tank is acting like any other object in real life scenario here, okay? Which is what we want. All right, now we have the tank tracked, but how do we move the tank if this is taken? Two ways to do this. You can create another null and connect it to the auxiliary channel, but that's too much work, way too much work. So here's your solution. Solution is to go back into Element 3D, go to Well Transform, and simply click Create. Now Element 3D just created a null specifically designed for the 3D object that will empower that 3D object to move in the space that we created. All right, so let's bring this null down here, and let's just call it tank null for movement. try your best to always name things, because trust me, now we know where things are at, but once you have 65 million things in a scene, if you did not name them, you will probably start crying, because I have done that before. That's why I'm just telling you guys to name things. Okay, once we are here, we also have to create realism in the size of the tank. How do we do that? Alright, let's go to our two views. Alright, this is our tank, and it's pretty big. It is pretty big. Here's our null here that we created for it. Don't try to move this to the center. Leave it where it's at, okay? Let's move it toward the camera. Okay, just like this. And let's just go ahead and move it around to see if there's some realism to it. Yeah, if it's moved pretty quick, it does look pretty real, right? But what happens when we move it back? When we move it back, it becomes small again, okay? So that no longer creates realism. So how do we fix this problem? The best way I have found to fix this problem is to right away control the size from where it's at without having touched anything. So let's go ahead. I mean, you can do this through here, scaling, but I'm not quite sure if it's scaling the 3D mesh or if it's scaling the whole entire solid. Until I figure this out, I would rather just go back here to my scene setup and just control the size from here, okay? From here, I will say I want it to be at 500. And I'm gonna zoom out. It is pretty big, all right? Click OK. Now it's pretty big. So to make sure that everything's right, let's go ahead and back and click here, and let's just move it back just a tiny bit. And now what we want to do is we also want to rotate it. All right, and as we're rotating, let's make sure that it matches our ground as best as we can, and let's move it up as well. Okay, now let's move it over here just like this. There you go. Now let's move the tank close to the camera and see if it's real. Does it look real? Would a tank actually be this big? The truth is, these are actually pretty big compared to a small car. These will tower over small cars and go right through it. So right now, this size actually looks pretty good. To me, it looks pretty real, okay? And we did it this way so that when we take the camera to us and back and forth, guys, it looks pretty real, all right? This is the easiest way I have found to do it, and the workflow is super fast when you do it this way, okay? So once we are here, it's just a matter of making sure that it actually looks legit, all right? Okay, once it's like this, and we know that we can control the null and a position of our 3D mesh into this live environment, this is pretty much all that we have to do for the rest. Okay, so now I'm gonna leave it right here, but I'm going to exit it out, and I'm gonna bring the bus. Same thing. All right, so I'm not going to put any mesh on that bus. I'm just gonna bring the bus in. All right, so I'm gonna start it right over here, because once again, guys, we are just checking out the workflow. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, I'm gonna move through this as fast as possible. Destroy cars, gas truck, fire, destroy bus, just like this. All right, I'm gonna normalize the size and just click OK. Here it is right now, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to paste it into our scene. All right, just like this. Now I could have just brought it from over here. Okay, I could have done the same thing too, but it's a new tutorial, so I might just start fresh so you guys can see it for yourselves. Once we are here, guys, it's the same concept. All right, choose a point. My bus was back there, so I needed points back there that would create realism. So I like this point right here, so I'm gonna right click, create a null. Why isn't it create a camera anymore? Because it already created one. So every time you click on a point, it's just gonna create a new null. Okay, so all you have to do is you know, just name it bus null for tracking. And we're gonna do the same exact thing, but now the bus is not in front of our tank, because if it is, look what it looks like, right? It's in the back, so move it back, boom, just like this. The bus is in the back, so we're gonna do the same thing. We gotta bring this down here so it matches with everything. All right, just open this up just like that, just like this, and click here, Alt, bring this up to the position, boom, watch the magic. Now why isn't the bus over here? It's okay if it's not there. All right, it's locked in. It's our job to take the bus there. We're gonna do it the same way we did it with the tank. So go back to your bus, go to World Transform, click Create. Bring your new null to the bus and put it right here. Rename it bus null for movement. Once it's here, just close that. Same thing. Does it look real from way back there? Well, let's just go back in here and control the size. So I'll say it's about 300. Click OK. Does it look real? Not really. So I know for a fact it's probably going to be up in the 700s, right? So let's go and do 700. Does it look more real? Yeah, it looks more real now. So what do we do now? Very easy. Same thing. Same concept. Move the bus where you believe. Okay, it's gonna be back there, all right? Because now when the bus was close to us, it was pretty big size, right? Okay, so that was already believable. Now it's just gonna be tweaking here and there. So I wanna move the bus this way, and I wanna flip it around, okay? So let's go and do the flipping right, oh, not this way, but this way like this, all right? Now I'm gonna move it up just like that. Now we're comparing the bus with the cars. Now you might be asking yourself, well, you already cranked it up to 700, why is it still tiny? Because we're moving in Z space, okay? And now we want to match those cars over there and then crank up the size, all right? I know it's confusing, but this is what happens when you're trying to move 3D into real life footage. You have to play with these points. Okay, so let's move this over here like that, and let's put the bus here like this, and let's just move it out like this. Now I gotta make sure the bus is pretty big, so there are a couple ways to do this. You can go back in here and you can rescale it here as much as you believe it should be, so I'll say 1200, right? And you can slowly just move it back again, not this way, so we want to move it on, and there it is too, which is okay, so you can see it from this way. Now why are all these confused now? Well, because I flipped it around. Now all of these does the opposite of what they're supposed to do, okay? So make sure you understand this concept too, or else it's gonna be super confusing. Alright, so now we took care of the cars, they're not back there anymore, okay? And the bus is flipped, and it actually looks real from how far the cars were compared to the bus. But I still feel that it is way too small. Two ways we can do this. You can flip it around like this, and you can click here to change its size, because you're gonna have to sometimes to change the size properly, or you can go back here again and crank it up. So I'm gonna say 1500. I'm gonna click OK, and now it looks more believable. And guys, it's a matter of just playing with that, all right, and just asking yourself, okay, what looks real, what doesn't, and is it going to work? Now this actually looks pretty decently real, all right? So now what you want to do is make sure that it's not touching any of those rocks, because if it is, it's no longer real. So let's go ahead and not flip it this way, but oh, not this way. I wanted to flip it like that. There you go. So it creates this gap here. Once again, we're faking the gap, okay? Now that looks pretty real. Let's make sure it's actually still in our footage. All right, it's not going anywhere. And that's pretty much how we did that, all right? Now let's quickly click here and see what our tank would look like here. Go to your tank and let's move the null around. Okay, once again, make sure that here the tank is not touching, the back is not touching the bus, or else it doesn't create realism anymore. Okay, see if it's going like this, it doesn't look real anymore. But you can actually go this far, and what you would have to do is make sure that on the y-axis it's actually moving downwards. All right, but personal choice, guys, personal choice. About right here, it's a good start. So from here to here, just set keyframe and just make it move forward. Okay, that's pretty much it. How did we create the fires? Same concept. So let's go and just look at the fires right now. Let's go and do that. So for this, I'm going to go to project and create a new folder and just call it fire. Okay, fire, boom, just like this. And let's go and bring in just 2 types of fires. Okay, I got those fires from the Action Essentials from Video Copilot. That was a long time ago when 1080p was hot and 720p was just like, no, that's cool, it's not that bad. But now it's 4K, 720p, it doesn't look great on 4K. Okay, and so that's why maybe the video, it doesn't look real sometimes when we really look at it, is because things are not in high quality definition. Because if they were, even if you shrunk it, it still look real. Okay, so the reason why I haven't bought the 2K version yet is it's pretty pricey at $250. So I'm gonna wait till the price comes down. But that being said, there are many other websites that have amazing stock footage, and I left those descriptions, the links under the descriptions. Okay, hopefully Andrew, you'll give us a deal soon and turn that down to about 150. I think the 4K is worth 250 bucks, but the 2K is probably just worth 150, and the 720p is probably worth like maybe, I don't know, 80 bucks. All right, let's move on. Fire right here, fires. Okay, we're gonna be using the big fire 2. Just click on that. That's the one I want. And smoke, I'm gonna bring some dark smoke in there too. I hope that Andrew will create more dark smoke, because I think dark smoke looks pretty cool. But let's go back here and see where the smoke are. Here it is, and dark smoke, just like that. Okay, so what you want to do now is let's just bring the fire in. Let's put the fire on top of everything. Okay, let's make the fire 3D. Now that the fire is 3D, let's just lock. Same thing, we're going to lock any of these to the fire. So I'm gonna put the fire right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my footage, go here, click on that, same thing, choose my point, create a null solid, and there it is. I'm gonna put it right on top of my fire, and I'm going to name that null fire for tracking. And click enter. Once it's here, same concept, same thing. We are just going to lock the position of our fire to our position of our null. Once it's there, boom. Whoa, what just happened? You're right, it just totally zoomed out. Okay, well, not zoomed out, but zoomed in. To fix this, you simply unscale it. All right, now once again, if this was 2K or 4K, it would not look this blurry. Okay, but as you saw, it was this tiny right here, right? So now we're zooming it out, so it doesn't look real anymore, but that's okay, that's okay. All right, so how do we control this fire? You control it through here with these anchor points. All right, left, right. So let's move it here, let's move it up, just like that. All right, now once it's like this, it's up to you to see where you want it to go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to create another one, and I'm actually going to flip it around. So I'm gonna go here and do a full 360, just like that. And well, maybe not full 360, but I'm gonna bring it up just like this. Okay, so let's go and do 180, and just like that. And let's just scroll through it to see what it looks like. Okay, that looks pretty cool, right? Okay, that's exactly what we want. Now let's go and put the smoke between those fires. So how do we do that? On the second fire, scale it out. a little bit behind, just like that, okay? So that when we bring our smoke, you're still gonna see the backfire, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's bring our smoke. Same concept, but we're gonna use this track node here. We don't have to create a new one. Make that 3D. There it is right here. Once again, this is 720p. 2K would be about right there like this, okay? So 2K on a 4K footage, that's not bad, but 4K on 4K, that's best. Alright, same thing. Let's go ahead and click our position, and let's bring this up just like this. Boom, just like that. Click OK. Same thing, the smoke zoomed in and it went crazy. We're just gonna zoom it back out. Oh, I went to the negative numbers. That's more like it. And now what we want to do is we just want to move it up. Okay. And why is the smoke not big? Well, you just have to take the footage out a little bit further. Okay. We'll start the fire at this size here. And the good thing is, see this? It went over our regular footage, so it creates reality. Okay. So what we want to do now is we want to put this behind the first one. So our first one, it's that far back. It's by 510. So all you guys got to do is try your best to match those numbers. Okay, now don't go too far, but just go right in between, just like that. Okay, so it's in between 0 and 510. Now we can still see the fire in the back, but we can see the fire in the front too, and that's what we want to be able to do. Okay, once it's like this, does the smoke look like it's thick enough? Well, if it doesn't, just go like this, duplicate it. Now it looks pretty thick, but at the same time, what you can also do is this: move it around from side to side, put it right there, right? And what you want to do is make sure that this one starts at a different time. All right, then my first fire is a little bit off, so I'm gonna fix that right now on the Y. Boom, I'm gonna put it right there just like this. Okay, so let's see how it looks. There you go. It looks, I mean, you know, it's a tutorial, so does it look like the one I did? Probably not, but you guys get the idea on how to do that, lock fire and smoke in one spot. Okay. Alright, the next thing I want to show you guys is, because you guys might be asking yourself, alright dude, how did you make the wheel spin? It's very simple. Let's go back to our, not bus, but tank. Let's click scene setup. Once we are here, click here. Now, all of these belong to a specific spot. So let's click here to see what things belong to what, okay? So, I know for a fact all of these are wheels, alright? So as you click on these, you know where they belong. So if the 3D artist did a wonderful job, this is exactly how it's supposed to be, okay? Each of these correspond to a specific spot and it shows you exactly where it's at, all right? Okay, here's the next thing. How did you move the gun? Same thing. The gun is right there, B, C, and E. So let's go ahead and just pick one wheel for now, okay? Because we just don't have time to do all of them. Let's go ahead and pick the front one so we can see it better. Okay. Not this one, not this, not this, not this. Is it here? Nope. Oh my goodness. I need elevator music. This one and that one. Okay, so I'm gonna put this one in auxiliary channel 1 and put this one again to auxiliary channel 1. Okay. Once it's like this, I'm gonna put the gun in auxiliary channel 2. There it is, and there is that, and there is this. Now I'm gonna click OK. Nothing has changed, which is okay. Alright, so now I want to go here and let's find our auxiliary channels. So let's close these so we don't get confused. We know that the wheel is in auxiliary channel 1, right? So go here and in our rotation, just see which is which. Is it the Y? Nope, that's not the Y. Maybe for turning that'll be the Y, but for spinning that's the X. You can set keyframes if you want, but the shot was created for the tank to move all the way out. So instead we're gonna write an expression. So how did I get there? Just alt click on this, and once you get here, just type in time, I don't know, maybe 20. Okay, so when you scroll through, guess what's happening? See, it's spinning, but it seems like it's way too slow. So let's do 200. That looks much better. Okay, so while that's going, the fire is going over here too, right? Which is pretty cool. All right, gun. The gun is in auxiliary channel 2. So let's move the gun backwards. How do we do this? Very simple. Go to your 2 views so we can see the gun. But before we do this, let's go ahead and bring the tank back in. And we are actually going to move the tank where we can see it too. Okay, and so just for now, I'm going to use this to scale it down because I just want to see where the gun is. All right, now let's go ahead and move it back just a tiny bit so we can see the gun. There it is. And why should you be able to see it? So that you can control it properly. All right, so once it's like this, let's just go ahead and play with our auxiliary channels and see which is which. All right, so we know for a fact that the rotation should go like that. But what happened? Sometimes things will go wrong, and I did this so you guys could see it for yourselves. Each of these are in a different spot here on our tank. Take a look at this, right? They all need to be in one spot, so when it spins, it's spinning properly. So I'm going to choose the spot right here to put everything in the same spot. So click here to unlock it and just move it out to where it belongs and just clock it back. Same thing here. Move it back and boom, just like this. Okay, same thing here. Move it back and just lock it into place. Boom, just like this. Now let's try that again and see what happens. Boom, just like that. Everything is locked in one specific spot. All right, and that's exactly what you want. Now you may be asking yourself, yeah, but now it's not moving properly over here. Well guys, just pick the right spot that will make sure that it's moving in a circle. All right, that's all you got to do. So we know this spins. How do we move this back? Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So if we move everything back, it's going to move together now, right? So what you have to do is you have to assign these to different auxiliary channels too. Okay, so we're gonna keep it straight here because you already understand the concept of making sure everything's aligned properly. So let's go back to our section here, and let's make this actually channel. Well, let's make sure it's the right one. Okay, so oops, C, that's the one I want to move. Okay, so I'm going to assign this to channel 3 now. Okay, now that it's in channel 3, let's move it backwards. Let's just see which is which. Okay, whoops, wrong one. Channel 3. Which is which? Nope, it's not this one. Is it the Y? Nope, that's not it either. Is it the Z? There it is. Okay, so the recoil that you saw at the end of the video, I just did it this way. So just like that, just like this. Okay, all right guys, so you had the opportunity to see how we lock 3D meshes into real life footage. Okay, you also had the opportunity to see how we lock 2D images into real life footage. Now, why is this here? Why is the fire on top of the truck? Which actually looks pretty cool, but we don't want that. So how do we fix that? Okay, it's very simple. Just like I showed you how to move the bus to make sure that the bus is behind the tank, you have to do the same thing for the fire. So as we move this behind the tank, look what happens. Boom, it's behind the tank now, but it's in front of the bus. All right, that's how we do it. So you've learned how to put 3D meshes into real life environment using 3D tracking. You learned how to put 2D footage into real life environment using 3D tracking. All right, that being said, let's move on to part 3. All right, in part 3, what I want to do now is set the ground for you guys so you can see how I did that, and I want to throw some lights in there to let you guys know what actually happens. Okay, so let's go and set our ground right now. Same thing. Those grounds came from the Action Essential pack from Video Copilot that I got eons ago when 1080p was hot. Now it's not anymore, so I'm just waiting for Andrew to lower that price on the 2K, and then I'll get that one for the 2K. Okay, it's the same thing, but it's just 2K. Alright, so let's go ahead and create a new folder right now, and we're just going to call that ground. Alright, so let's go ahead and bring it. Broken ground, there it is, ground holes, there it is. That's the one that I want to use. Alright, I'm gonna bring it here, and I'm gonna put this one beneath everything, because that needs to be beneath everything. Okay, as you can see, it's beneath the tank, it's beneath the fire and smoke, and it's also beneath the buzz, but we can't see it because it's way back there. That being said, let's go ahead and do the same thing. Click, make that a 3D, open this up, and let's use one of those nodes down there. Okay, so click here on your real life footage, click here, and let's pick a point. This point looks pretty good right here. Right click, create a node. When it's here, bring that all the way down here, and once again, I'm a huge advocate of this. Name things. Null for ground. 3D tracking. Once you're here, click OK. Alright, same thing. Let's go in and lock our grounds here to our positions. Same thing on the crack. Alt and bring this up here like this and click position. Click enter. Same thing, it zoomed out. Why did it do that? Same thing, guys, because we're in 3D now, so it's acting in 3D. So all you guys got to do is downscale it and ask yourself what would look cool. All right, and then just move it around and move it up and down as you see fit, because it's in 3D space. It's gonna move exactly where you want it to go. Okay, and I actually want this to actually go all the way up to this cement right here. Once it's like this, go to your normal and just click vivid light. Boom, just like that. Now you can also do linear, or you can also do hard light. It's really up to you guys, but I think in this section vivid doesn't look good, but linear looks pretty good. All right, so once it's locked like this, all you guys gotta do is just leave it where it's at. All right, because it's locked, it's not going anywhere even while the footage is moving. Okay, so that's how I did this for that. All right, here's the next thing I want to show you guys that you will encounter once you put lights into Element 3D. So first, let's do a full shot so you guys can see this in full shot. All right, boom, in full shot, it looks pretty good. All right, so I do apologize if it was in a quarter. I should have moved that right away to full shot so you guys could see better, but there it is right now. It's in full shot and it looks just like this. Okay, so let's scroll through this and let's see what it looks like. All right, there it is right there. Okay, boom, there's that, and the ground is locked to this. Now let's throw a light so you guys can see exactly what's going to happen. The one thing I'm still kind of disappointed with Element 3D and After Effects is the lighting system does not work very well. You should only need one light to light every entire 3D objects in every single scene, but you can't do that. You need dozens of lights, but that kills the reality of light. So hopefully in Element 3D 3 and in After Effects with new patches, only one light can be used to light every 3D models. Okay, but let's throw a light so you guys can see it for yourselves. Look what's gonna happen. Everything, all of our 3D mesh, or not 3D mesh, but our 2D mesh went crazy on us. 3D mesh are fine, except that the shadows do not show up where they're supposed to. And that is still a problem, I think, of Element 3D and After Effects not reading each other properly. Okay, one light should light everything and create shadows on everything like the real sun, but it's not doing that. But let's fix the 2D meshes here. How do we fix this? Very simple. Go to your ground or anything that is 2D that we made 3D, click A twice. It's going to take you to the material options. Go here, accept lights, and say off. All right, once you do that, it will bring everything back to how it's supposed to be. Okay, so I'm going to do this really quick for these, and you just watch the magic happen right before your eyes, just like that. Okay, but once again, shadows is not real. Okay, it doesn't matter what the sun is, the shadow should look real and should be real. That is the biggest struggle that I have right now. What I created before then, I worked really hard to create that shadow beneath this tank properly. Okay, and back there I couldn't even create shadows, so I went back into Element 3D and I just created a new plane, and I put the new plane next to the truck to create a fake shadow. Alright, the last thing I want to show you guys is how to create the very atmospheric war environment. And so all you have to do is, once again, bring footage from the Action Essential pack from Video Copilot. Super useful pack. I recommend you guys to make that investment if you can, of course. Let's create a new folder and just call that Atmosphere. Oh my goodness, learn how to spell. There you go. Once we are here, let's just go and bring it in. Okay, it's already in my files, but for you, you would have to purchase it or see if you can find a free one anywhere online. Okay, so here's mine, and I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to put it in front of every single solid. It's very tiny. 720p was hot back then, not anymore, but it's okay. It's an atmosphere, so we don't need to see the sharpness of it, we just need to give it the illusion of it. So let's go ahead and just crank that up to about just right around outside of our 4K frame, just like that. Okay, and what we want to do now is we want to duplicate another one, and we will actually want to make that 3D. It's going to be black, so that might actually work in this environment because it's very war-like. So black atmosphere is also cool, but for now we're just gonna keep it white. So remember, type in A twice and then just say off on accept light, and it does that. Now what we want to do is we want to rotate that 180 degrees. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Okay, once it's rotated, it just showed up right here on the other side. Okay, because our footage is not moving too crazily, we can keep this not being locked to any null points in our 3D tracking, and they'll look just fine. Okay, all right, that being said, today we learned a lot. All you guys have to do is reduplicate everything that you learned here to create the other scenes, and that's pretty much how it works. So this is the workflow. Once you understand this workflow, it works the same for everything else. Okay, what we learned today is how to bring 3D OBJs into real life environment by using 3D tracking from After Effects into a real life footage. We also learned that we can do the same thing for 2D, either a picture or a video. Same thing. We also learned that even if a 3D mesh is connected to a 3D node, you can still move that mesh by just going to your After Effects Element 3D will transform and clicking this right here. Okay, and the same concept works for the ground looking like this, and the same concept also works for the environment atmosphere that we created. Once again guys, it's just a matter of choice of what you're trying to create. Always remember, create your environment based on your 3D OBJs. Okay, so it's easier for you to shoot what you want to shoot. Alright guys, that being said, I hope my tutorial was really helpful for you guys. If you found it really helpful, hey, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, share my videos with your friends, and be ready for the next tutorial to come out, because I'm always trying to push myself to do something even more crazy. Okay, that being said, you've been part of my channel ZooPF Visual Effects. My name is Lobo, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye now.